From the 6th hour until the 9th hour, darkness came over all the land. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? Verse 50 says that when Jesus cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up the spirit. And at that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. And the earth shook and the rocks did split. And the tombs broke open, and the bodies of many holy people who had died were now raised to life. For just a moment of your time, I would like to coin this phrase as a topic of discussion: a scarred scream. A scarred scream. God bless you. Society has declared that good things always happen to good people. It is believed that what goes around always comes around. We have even adopted a notion that suggests that if you do good, then good will always follow. Are you still with me? However, my dear brothers and sisters, in this sojourn of salvation, you will discover that there are some times when horrendous happenings hop upon the holy. Can I get a witness? It can sometimes seem as though the wicked are always winning and the faithful are always failing. Consequently, many times they would have one questioning God, just as David did in Psalms 3 when he says, Lord, how they who that have increased who trouble me. Many are they who rise up against me, and many are they that say of me, there is no help for him in God. Have you ever been there, my dear brothers and sisters, when you thought you were doing all of the right things, but nothing would ever go your way? Have you ever been there when you were stationed in a Job season where you lived holy, but you had to experience hell? Maybe you've been there where you were in between your intertestamental period where it seemed like 400 years without the opening or the communication between you or God. Can I get a witness? You were placed in a predicament where you had to do as E. Dewey Smith Jr. calls, overcome the silence of heaven. I mean, you paid your tithes and your offerings, but you were always broke. You prayed for your family, but cancer and diabetes and high cholesterol and AIDS still infected your family. Am I talking to anybody in here? You let your light shine everywhere you went, but every time you went home, the lights were out. Can I get a witness? You were that good thing that the Bible spoke of, describing a wife, but that man could not stop hitting you, and you found yourself in and out of court. Can I get a witness in here? You were the faithful one, but you never got that acceptance letter. We were taught regularity at a young age wherein if you asked, it would be given. If you sought, you would find. If you knocked, the door would be open. But have you ever been there, my dear brothers and sisters, when your eyes are weak from seeking, your hands are tired from knocking, your mind is wrestling all night long, and it seems as though your countless petitions to the throne are left seemingly unanswered? Can I get a witness? Well, such is the case in the text, my dear brothers and sisters, as we are introduced to the paradigmatic moral age of Jesus, as he is consolation. In Matthew chapter 27, verse 5, our setting is the crucifixion site. The Bible says that it's from the 12th to the 9th hour. 6th to the 9th hour, excuse me. Theologians have concluded that the 6th to the 9th hours was approximately from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. Meteorologists will argue that from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. is the brightest part of the day. This is the time where the sun is supposed to be shining the most. But the Bible says that it was darkness during this time. Can't you see in this text? Around 12 o'clock, the cardinals are supposed to be chirping. Daisies are supposed to be dancing. Sun is supposed to be shining. Yet we find darkness. I wonder if I'm talking to anybody in here that has been in a predicament where it seemed as though the light was supposed to be shining in your life. You went to the prophets, they told you that your miracle was coming the next day. You went, you prayed, you fasted, and it still seems you had to live in darkness. Can I get a witness? Everybody else had a springtime, but you stayed in your fall. You saw your sister with the new car. You saw your friend with the new house. They were blessed, but you still live in darkness. You've been to countless weddings, and you're still the bridesmaid. You've given more housewarming gifts than the gifts that you have in your own one-bedroom apartment. Darkness. You're in a position similar to Pluto. You know Pluto is the darkest and the coldest planet in the atmosphere. Pluto is vacant. Pluto is cold. Pluto is furthest away from the sun. Have you ever been there? When it seemed as though you came to church over and over and over again, and you still did not have a relationship with the sun. Not the S-U-N, but the S-O-N. So what do you do when you're isolated? What do you do when your father is not there? How do you function when your connector, your chief, your communicator, your cornerstone, your carpenter, your clock, your clothing, your captain, your counselor, your covering, your commissioner, your comrade, your chief, yes, your carpenter, your communion, all of these people are not present in your life? I tell you what you do. You lift up your head, you look up to heaven, and you say, my God, why have you forsaken me? You told me to go to Clark,